Someone could find meaning in life in his family. Someone could find meaning to life in maybe traveling and going out to see the world. So I can't say that there's one particular meaning to life. Let me find life in God.
What then is the meaning of life? That one can have life at this second, and then in the next second, the person's life can just be taken away from him. There's meaning behind life. Every single person, you can't just walk up to somewhere and then kill somebody. Yeah, because there is meaning behind that person's life. There's value attached to that person's life. So, as a person, what would you say the meaning of life is? If you believe that there is meaning to life and there is value behind life and attached to life, what would you say the value and the meaning of life is?
Well, I see life as, I can't say there's a general meaning to life. I feel like it varies individually. Everybody has their own different paths and different values, different way they would say their life has a meaning. Someone could find meaning in life in his family. Someone could find a meaning to life in his work. Someone could find meaning to life in maybe traveling and going out to see the world. So I can't say that there's one particular meaning to life. Let me find life in God.
Yeah.
Most people, yeah, they find life in God. So I can't say that this is the meaning of life.
Okay.
It's meant to just be something we figure out as we go.
Okay. But then, don't you think that that could be challenging? In the sense that someone who figures out that he wants to do something that hurts people, and for him, that's the meaning of life. So, would you say to him that no, you're wrong?
Will I tell you you're wrong? That might be the person's meaning to life. That might be the person sees life. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's right. I mean, if that's how he sees life, that's what he says is his own meaning of life. But that doesn't make it right.
So, the very fact that it doesn't make it right implies that there is a right way to life.
Yes.
So, that right way to life is objective. It's not based on how people perceive it to be. Because I believe if you subject it to the way you perceive life to be, the way you perceive the meaning of life to be, then it can have different variations. So that's why some people, like for example, the terrorist situations we have in our country today,
Yeah.
some people who subscribe to that subjective point of view that life is how I define it to be, they may consider what they do as right. Meanwhile, it's not right. So that means we have to subscribe to something that is higher and above every single person, something that we look up to, and then draw conclusion from that and say, this is what life truly is. This is how life is meant to be lived. Right? So the objective and the definite meaning of life, I believe, is what I'm more pressing for. Yeah. So do you think you can get that? You can get to that definite meaning of life?
I can't say. I can't say.
Okay.
I don't think I've gotten there yet.
But do you believe that there is?
I believe that there is.
Okay. So let me share with you something. I was watching a movie. The title of the movie is Extraction. I don't know if you've seen it.
I think I've heard of it, but I don't think I've seen.
Okay.
Did they
So,
kidnap somebody and try to get the person back?
yes.
I seen it.
Yes. So I think there are two parts of the movies. There's part one, there's part two. The one that moved me the most was part two. I'm not a movie type, but there are some movies that speaks to me differently. So while I was watching the part two, it got to a point, I think that the last scene of the movie, not the last scene, but close to the last scene of the movie, they eventually got the person they wanted to rescue, a woman and her son, I think. And while they were taking the guys that came for the rescue, while they were trying to go back into their helicopter and leave the building where they infiltrated, they were just walking. They had done all the things they needed to do. They had fought the bad guys and all of that. And the guy was walking inside the helicopter, about to enter. And then all of a sudden, a bullet came from nowhere and just shot him.
Oof.
And that's how he fell. Like the force of the bullets pushed him into the helicopter. And then his mates dragged him in. He was there, and like to think that the mission was almost successful. In fact, it was successful.
Yes.
Everybody was safe, everybody was cool. And then at just that minute or second, I would say, everything just took a flip turn. So now that guy was there lying down. His life was seeping out of him gradually. The guy that was with him in the helicopter was like, "Don't give up on me. Don't give up on me." While I was watching that movie, a new meaning of life just emerged at that point. In my mind, I was like, okay, what then is the meaning of life? That one can have life at this second, and then in the next second, the person's life can just be taken away from him. You've heard of the concept of stray bullets. Somebody can just be by themselves, and all of a sudden, a bullet can just hit them from any angle and anywhere, and that could just take their lives. So I asked myself, what is actually the meaning of this person's life? What is the meaning of life in itself? That if somebody can be full of life in this minute, and in the next minute the person can just lose that life, what truly is the meaning of life? Is it in how long the person lives? Is it in the number of cars the person owns? The level of influence the person has? Or what truly characterizes life as this life that was a gift was lived well? So for me, that was where I now started my quest to discover what is actually the meaning of life. And so what I found was, if I was to define what life truly is, it boils down to the one that gave it. Since I realized that this life is a gift and it's not something I can manufacture myself, I have to go back to the one that gave the life. And when I go back to the one that gave the life, I find out that this one gave me something as a person, as an individual, before I came into life, before I came into this world. There was something that I was given as a gift, as a talent, as a. You want to have a conversation? Are you sure? Anything at all? Have a conversation about anything. So the person comes into this life and has a gift, has a talent, has an ability, and I think it's not for just the fun of it. It's not just random. There's something intrinsic that the person is supposed to do with that gift, because when the person has life, you know that that life is meant to. That's the way I look at it, and that's the way I've understood it as. Your life is meant to add value to somebody else's life. Your life is meant to make somebody have a better life.
Impact on
Impact,
others.
exactly. So that's what I feel like the value of life is. That's what I believe it to be. That life is valuable when it is impactful. When after you've left, somebody can look back and say, I'm grateful this person existed. I'm grateful I had to converse with this person. Because of this person, something happened to me, and this is positive. I've seen a new light. I've been exposed to something different, something that I normally would not have heard from every single person. So I believe that's where the value of life is being drawn from. That life is valuable when it is impactful. Because there are many people that will come and then they just live their life randomly and spontaneously.
Yeah.
And after they die, nothing is to be remembered about them. I mean, there are people you would agree with me that you can't forget. Even after they die, you can't forget about them. An example is somebody like Abraham Lincoln. You can't forget him because of the kind of impact he had in the United States. Somebody like Miles Monroe, you can't forget that kind of a person. Somebody like Mahatma Gandhi, for example, the Indians will never forget somebody like him. Somebody like Nelson Mandela, you can't forget. When you look at all of them, their lives were valuable because they had an impact within the time they lived
Yeah.
and with the people they interacted with. So that's what I feel and I believe is the value of life objectively. But then subjectively, many people would have different definitions to the value of life. I don't know if you know of Adolf Hitler.
Yes.
Okay. So Adolf Hitler had his own value defined by himself. That for him to kill a certain number of people will be fulfilling to him. The many slave traders that came into Africa and the sub-Saharan slave trade and all of these other slave trade, they had a kind of value that they attached to the meaning of life. And for them to have value in life and the meaning in their life to be worth it, they had to sell slaves. They had to trade them for money and make them work for them. So everybody have their own definition, like you said, and I agree with that. But I believe that there is an objective one, and that objective one has to do with you sitting down and actually asking yourself questions that you would normally not ask in a broader spectrum. But when you settle down with it, you realize that life is deeper than it seems. It's not just surface. You are born, get married, have children, and then just make money and then that's all. There's something deeper that calls for life. Yeah. So, and I believe you have You have that also inside you. Yeah, you have that inside you also. I believe you have something inside you that you want to do. You have something that you feel like you can offer.
I don't know yet. I don't have anything defined
Yet.
yet.
That doesn't mean it's not there.
That doesn't include it.
Exactly. So yeah, that's all. That's all. And at least you got to converse.
Yeah.
Converse. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Yeah.
for having
It was
me.
lovely having a conversation with you.
It was lovely having
Yeah.
one with
All right.
you. Thank
Can I
you.
have